Hello, everybody. Dr. Dan here, NHB Sports YouTube channel. Check us out at our sponsor, NoHoldsBarredSports.com. I'm here for another little quick tidbit, some thoughts on my mind about the NFL. My thoughts are really going towards the game from last night, the Seahawks versus the Eagles. Man, Carson Wentz, he's not a very good quarterback in the NFL. I'm just sick of everybody blaming the offensive line issues on the Eagles for Carson Wentz's performances. Man, the thing to watch when you're watching a quarterback that's struggling, in my opinion, watch his head. Where's he looking? What does his head movement before the play collapses tell you about the quarterback? And all too often I see Wentz take a snap, he's staring out into the flat until he throws the ball out into the flat. He's staring straight down the middle until he's sacked. He stares straight at the receiver, straight at an area, until he throws an interception. It shows that he doesn't have the X's and O's in his head that a guy like Tom Brady does. Obviously that's not a fair comparison, but everyone does know that Brady can sit there and read the defense. He can see what they're doing, he can see the opening, he can see the movement, and he knows where to place the ball. It's part of why he's able to still play at his age. Wentz doesn't seem to be able to do that whatsoever. In fact, he is regressing quite a bit. And you have to start to wonder, is he regressing because Doug Peterson is not a good head coach? Is he regressing because Nick Foles was a mentor as a backup? Is he regressing because he got a huge salary and he doesn't have to try anymore because he's made in life? A lot of questions to ask. I think that there's no question that Frank Reich had a huge part in why the Eagles won a Super Bowl. He was the offensive coordinator. Anyone who grew up in the 90s remember him as the quarterback that brought the Bills back from the Oilers in the Oilers game in the playoffs in perhaps 1992. Maybe it was 93. It was a 35-point comeback. Reich was a backup quarterback to Jim Kelly, and he lit it up. He did something similar in college at the University of Maryland. So this is a guy that knows how to overcome obstacles of not being the greatest athlete on the field, not having the greatest arm on the field, but still reading a defense, leading a drive, winning a game. Once he was removed from the Eagles picture, Wentz started to regress. You can see when Doug Peterson is questioned in media interviews, he is not prepared for it. He's aggravated by it. I feel a real sense of arrogance. He won a Super Bowl. He can do whatever he wants, is what I think. I think that Wentz, he needs a different style of coaching. If anyone's going to bring it out of him, they need to coach him from the head up. They need to train him not to take the hits. Train him to get the ball out faster. If your line sucks, 1-2 pass, that's it. You don't just stand in the pocket infinitely. So he's not even being told these simple things that I, as a football outsider, can obviously see. So the big issue is that the Eagles can't remove Wentz because of how much they paid him. And that's the huge mistake that I really want to talk about. The Eagles had no need to pay him that type of money when they did. Goff got paid, so Wentz got paid. Both of these guys are not playing at the level at which they are getting paid. Wentz, he had a good season when he was a rookie. He tore his ACL, his LCL, I'm not sure. He was significantly injured, didn't come back the next season looking the same. The Eagles made the decision that season to let Foles go and to break the bank for Wentz. And they didn't need to do that for Wentz. He's not that great. Teams are all too focused on where they draft a player and how much they have to pay that player because of that draft status. What you end up getting is guys that are highly motivated to begin their careers, but once they realize, I'm a first round pick, this team's not going to cut me, I have to play fairly well, I'll get that second contract, I get all that guaranteed money, and then I'll Albert Haynesworth the rest of my career by laying down on the field, not trying that hard. That happens. It does. You got cases like Alvin Kamara and Dalvin Cook this year. These guys got paid, and they're pedal to the metal, man. They're not caring about whether they're going to get hurt. They are just playing it all out. Those are the type of signings that are good. A Le'Veon Bell to the Jets signing, bad. Carson Wentz, $134 million. Is that what it was? That's terrible. The Eagles won't be competitive with him next year. The team has to recognize that. So if you don't eat that salary, I believe it's a $60 million dead cap hit for next year, $25 million the year after that. They will certainly take that $25 million. Next year will be Wentz's last season as the Eagles starter. I could see him potentially getting another chance, but I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of flushes out the toilet of the league in about 4 seasons or so. His arm doesn't look great. He had a deep throw that was bounced off of a defender's helmet. When the tight end was pretty much open to the post, you hit the sideline. You aim the ball for the sideline, maybe a little bit out of bounds. You let your 6'6" tight end grab it, tap toes, 50-some yard gain, but instead it's an incompletion. It bounces off a helmet because it was thrown short. Wentz has so many holes in his game right now. I don't even want to hear that their offensive line is hurt. It's not the reason. Travis Fulgham looks like a pretty good find as a receiver. There's a lot to build with from that guy. Alshon Jeffries is back. I don't really like Rager. I can't understand what they saw in him over a Chase Claypool. And they missed out on DK Metcalf, and he whooped their ass last night. And so they can't draft the players to put around Wentz. Doesn't really matter if it's him or not. But, man, the situation that they're going to be in 2 years when they've let Wentz go, they're going to be halfway through Jalen Hurts' rookie contract, assuming that he's their next starting quarterback. They won't have the money to put weapons around him. So his first year as a starter, which is potentially 2022, is also going to be a down year because they're still going to be reeling from the Carson Wentz debacle. They'll probably have some players retiring. Jason Peters has to retire, I'm assuming, next season. So the offensive line probably will still be a problem. You'll be struggling to field a team next year. If you let Wentz go, the Eagles season is completely done because there's no way with a $175 million cap you can absorb a $60 million cap hit. So it's tough to say what they'll do. I think that they're going to have to accept that next season it's Carson Wentz do or die moment. This is the only reason you get this chance is because your agent got you this contract. If the contract wasn't in place, you wouldn't be on our team. That's a pretty tough position for an organization and a player to find themselves in at the beginning of the season, before the season even starts. So I can't see it going very well for him next year. I assume he'll be benched, before week 8. I think they'll hand the reins to Hurts. They'll look for anybody that will trade for Wentz. No one will because of the contract. He'll get cut. He'll clear waivers. Maybe he ends up one of these reclamation projects in a place like New England or maybe he goes to San Francisco. It's hard to say, but Wentz will not be an Eagle in 2022 unless he suddenly turns it on. I think that they really are not competitive with him at the quarterback position. So tell me your thoughts. Comment below. Let me know if I'm an asshole or if I'm right. It happens. And if you want to check out our website, noholdsbarredsports.com, we have some articles up there. We're changing the website around a bit, so bear with us. And have a good football Wednesday tomorrow. Yeah.